We are all going through a difficult time. We are in our houses, some of us feeling stuck, a lot of us are feeling relieved. There are some who are catching up with work that they had left undone. For some of us, it's an opportunity to do things. But there are people out there who are fighting this disease, this pandemic, the doctors, the policemen, people who are out there risking their lives, risking themselves for us. And the least we can do is stay home, stay safe, and keep everyone around safe. There are also the people who are underprivileged, who don't have homes to go to, who are suffering out there in the streets, who are stuck in cities where there are just laborers, daily wage workers. But hopefully things will get better, and they'll get better soon. In the meantime, what I have decided is to make more of these videos from home. Share with you some of my knowledge, share with you some of my experiences, and hopefully interact with you a little bit more, become a little more active on my social media. That said, hi everyone, I'm Skand and you're watching Pictorial Thought. And in this video, I'm going to talk about why you should not submit to photography competitions. So I've been following this channel called Swarez Art. It's by an artist called Swarez, and I love his work. He's an abstract painter. And quite some time ago, he made a video about why you should not submit to or participate in art competitions. I'm not exactly from a fine arts background, so I don't know what is going on in the fine arts competition scene, but there are some points that he makes in this video which I agree with. I've been meaning to talk about these photography competitions that you generally see pop up on your Facebook, or some groups that you might have joined, or some websites that you might have subscribed to. And I have found these competitions deeply problematic for many reasons. And I think Swarez deals with some of these points quite well, and some of those problems I quite agree with. But there's still something that I think I can add to what he has already said. I'll leave the link to his video in the description below, so you can go and check it out and see what he has to say. So I won't repeat everything that he said, and just add what I have to say to whatever he has already covered. So there's two things that I primarily want to talk about, and both of them are conceptual rather than practical in the sense of the points that he makes. The first one is that when you look at most of these photographic competitions, what seems to be common is that there's always a theme. They invite submissions based on theme. Now, this is somehow absurd to me, because when you look at photographs, when you look at classic photographs, I mean, I hope anyone who is doing photography now is sort of aspiring to be or to do something like some classic photographers or some idols that they might have in the photography world. When you look at their work, you don't categorize them based on themes. Some of the classic photographs, like this one. Now, if I show you this photograph and ask you what is the theme of this photograph, you would be lost for words, because there is no one theme that can define it. This photograph is very contextual. This photograph comes from a period in history. This photograph comes from a place on the map of this world. And those things, the context itself gives meaning to the photograph, and the meaning is complex. It's not simple. I'm not going to go deep into what it really is, but what I'm trying to get at is that it's quite a complex task to decode meaning, or to assign meaning to the photographs that we see, to theorize a photograph. Another example is this one. When you look at this photograph and you ask, what is the theme? Of course, you can't really pinpoint the theme. This is a photograph taken during the World War, and it is what it is. It's a context. It's history. It's part of the history of the wars. It's part of the history of photography, and it is quite an important photograph from a very important photographer. What I'm trying to say is that when you try to reduce a photograph to a theme, you are essentially making it less and less interesting. And especially if you, as a photographer, submit your photograph to this bracket of a theme, you're limiting the vision of the viewer to that particular theme. So that is the primary lens, through which a viewer will be looking at your photograph, and everything else will be secondary. So that, I think, is a real problem in the way that photographs are shown or photographs are seen, and it's simplistic. It reduces a photograph to that one theme, which I don't think is a good idea. And in fact, when you're looking at even some fine art photographs, which might not be titled like some photojournalistic photographs, but even there, you don't have the theme of the photograph as the title of the photograph. Imagine it like this: you're going to read a book, and when you pick it up, the cover of the book, the title of the book is a theme that it wants you to read the book through the lens of. And that would really, I think, kill the pleasure and the interest of the reader. And that's, I think, common in all arts. I think that's common in painting and as well as photography or even music. The title of any work of art is a part of that work of art and not its theme. Themes are complex. Themes are much larger than that one single word that these competitions really try to impose on your work of art. Point number 2 is a certain kind of culture that these competitions encourage or reinforce upon artists. That is a culture of competition, a culture of trying to be better than somebody else, or trying to ace someone else, and giving you a sense of achievement if you have gotten the first or second, third prize, whatever it is, above all the other submissions. That, I think, again, is a massive problem. I think that when you're creating a work of art, especially when you're a photographer, a painter, or an author, any kind of artist, you are losing in some way your vision when you are trying to please a certain jury, which will decide what is good and what is not good based on whatever their own perceptions of good or bad are. I think you as an artist wouldn't want your vision to be compromised for the sake of curation or for the sake of a jury that already has its vision set for them. And I think it's pretty lazy to put artists together and say, you know what, we are going to judge your work and we are going to put one over the other, and the one who is, of course, above everyone else is somehow more important than the others because, well, we judge it so. So that, I think, is another important problem with it. I generally have a serious problem with this method or with this format of competition amongst artists. I don't see the point of it, because when you're creating art, especially at least when I am trying to say something, and whatever I'm trying to say cannot be judged as better or worse than somebody else's work. My articulation can change over a period of time, but you can say that what I'm trying to say is not working. That's an entirely different thing. If my photograph or if my music does not work for you, it's an entirely different thing, and you might have some serious insights into what I can do to make things better for myself. But to say that, look, your work is not as good as this guy's, and this guy and hence gets all this money and all this fame. Which, by the way, brings me to this just last addition to all the points, is that have you ever heard of a single photographer or a single artist in the world who has become famous or influential or important because they won an award or they won a competition? I don't think so. I think what Swarez also says is that all of this is an industry for making money for some people who just don't want to do the real work. And in my opinion, I think all of this is a waste of time, a waste of effort, and a lot of photographers, young photographers who are aspiring to be somewhere or do something and who seem to have no direction at a given point are heavily exploited because of all of this. I think we should all just stop right now and pursue our visions, pursue our own articulation, or pursue our own goals in how well we want to be articulated in what we are saying and what we are showing, rather than competing with other people in competitions. I mean, of course, nothing that I say here or what Swarez says or at his channel is going to stop art competitions from existing or photography competitions from existing. There are people, of course, who can also use the award money, which is fine, but it is not a place to go to seek validation. That is not how art should work, and that's not how art works anyway. I have never seen any other practical gain from any of these competitions other than maybe some people who can actually use the award money for educating themselves further or buying some equipment or whatever it is. If that is your reason to participate in these competitions, please go ahead, and I wish you all the best. But otherwise, I think you should really not submit to photography competitions. And with this, I'd like to conclude this video. If you like what I said, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll also leave a link to my Instagram and my other YouTube channel in the description, so you can go over there, subscribe and follow, and leave a comment if you would like to have a discussion about this topic further, or if you disagree with me, please let me know. And also let me know if you want me to make a video on something specific that you would like me to talk about. I have some things in mind and some interesting topics that I'll be coming up with and making videos about. So look forward to them, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.